Welcome back to our live broadcast. On today's episode of How To, today we will be teaching you guys how to colonize Mars. How does that sound, Zahra?
That sounds astronomical. Get it?
You funny girl, you. Now, let's get back to the show on Disney Channel.
How do we colonize Mars, you may ask? Well, it's pretty simple. We start off by having the simple stuff. See, in order to live on Mars, we need air, of course, H2O, and food. In order to be able to breathe on Mars, you have to have the right equipment. For example, a spacesuit with oxygen, especially to work outdoors. Isn't that right, Yasmin?
Yes, Zahra! That is 100% correct. In fact, based on research and data that we gathered together, Mars should be colonized by humans by the year of 2050. Here is Hadi Al-Norsi talking about the atmosphere on Mars today.
Hadi Al-Norsi. Thank you, Yasmin. As of right now, the atmosphere is too thin to be able to easily support life. Water vapor and dust storms are very common on Mars. Giant dust storms that cause a blanket on the planet that lasts for months. Thank you.
The atmosphere of Mars is about 100 times thinner than it is on Earth. It is made up of about 95% carbon dioxide, 2.7% of nitrogen, 1.6% of argon, 0.08% of carbon monoxide, and most importantly, only 0.13% of oxygen. Now, back to more information about colonizing Mars.
As scientists know, another name for Mars is Earth's twin. It's known for that because of the water provided on both planets, different ways we can generate oxygen, being able to build many materials on site, including food. Mars has benefits that could be long-term, such as source of raw materials, and Mars being able to turn into a livable environment. How awesome does that sound? I know, right? Did you know foods such as tomatoes, lettuce, and potatoes can be grown on planet Mars? Do you agree with that, Zahra?
Yes, in fact I do.
Anyways, we'll be right back with more information after this short commercial break.
Wow, that Starbucks looks great.
Did you say Starbucks?
Yeah,
Would you like a cup?
sure.
Well, come down to Starbucks because we have these Falala cups 30% off.
Welcome back to the show on Disney Channel.
Welcome back. Now, we hope you guys enjoyed that small little commercial break. I kind of been in the mood for Starbucks myself now, aren't you, Zahra?
Most definitely.
She got the cup 30% off. You guys should definitely run to Starbucks and get some yourself. Now, back to our show.
Back to our research on Mars. We left off talking about different types of things both Earth and Mars have in common and provide for us. Now, Yasmin will be talking about the importance of missionaries when we populate Mars. Would you like to take over, Miss Lehman?
Yes, I would, Miss Davis. Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. The importance of missionaries are to learn from their mistakes in the past. The main goal the missionaries had was to spread their religion among natives because they were uneducated, which was not true. Would you agree, Zahra?
Definitely.
Mars is different because according to NASA, other living life on Mars' existence to the risk of spreading earthly diseases was low, maybe even non-existent.
As we look at the stars of missionaries, years ago when nations were somewhat new, religious leaders demanded a priority that their religion be the immense front. This ideology created some of the largest problems, and we need to learn from the past mistakes that were made in order to be successful.
Dun, dun, dun! Breaking news. Breaking news! We hope we got your attention. Today on Mars, scientists believe that material called aerogel might be able to help humans one day build greenhouses and other habitats at Mars mid-latitudes where near-surface water ice has been identified. This study was funded by Harvard University. Zahra.
Elon Musk just received more of his plans for colonizing Mars. They aim to land at least 2 cargo ships on the red planet in 2022. In order to place power, mining, and life support systems there for future flights.
SpaceX has figured out a way to pay for costly missions. But according to CNN, SpaceX isn't the only company that has their eye on Mars. The only question now is there other company that have their eye on Mars? They hope to build and send structure to Mars in about 10 to 15 years.
In my opinion, I think in the next 10 years, scientists would have found a way to colonize Mars, and we would have started a life there. I think it will be fully colonized by the year 2060. Don't you agree?
I 100% agree. Anyways, here's Asya taking over for the rest of the time we have left. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you next time on the Space News. Good luck, Asya.
NASA's proposed manned mission to Mars, which would use the Orion Multi-Purpose Crew Vehicle, also known as MPCV, and the Space Launch System, also known as SLS, would take place in the 2030s and is not the only plan to transport humans to Mars. Private firms and nonprofits have goals, some of which are considerably more ambitious than mere exploration, in addition to various federal space organizations. Another incident to reach Mars was when a group of Dutch entrepreneurs disclosed plans in 2012 for a crowdfunded campaign to create a human Mars outpost in 2023. The concept, dubbed Mars One, asks for a succession of one-way flights to build a permanent and increasing colony on Mars, which would be funded through media involvement. Arabia Terra, northern Mars, was discovered to have the biggest ancient volcanic eruptions known to Mars. Scientists originally proposed in a 2013 paper that these basins were volcanic calderas, which had previously been assumed to be depressions caused by asteroid strikes on the Martian surface billions of years ago. They discovered that they weren't precisely circular like craters and that they showed symptoms of collapse, such as extremely deep floors and rock benches near the walls. We have learned many things about Mars, and one important thing that we know is that the toxic and dry planet may have been habitable for us 3.5 billion years ago. Despite its smaller size, Mars's land area is nearly equal to the surface area of Earth's continents, implying that in theory, Mars possesses the same amount of habitable space as Earth. Unfortunately, the planet is now wrapped in a thin layer of carbon dioxide, making it unsuitable for earthly life. Methane gas arises on occasion in this arid world's atmosphere, and the soil contains molecules that would be poisonous to life as we know it. Although water exists on Mars, it is trapped in the planet's ice polar caps and buried beneath the Martian surface, possibly in large quantities. The planet underwent a significant alteration during its evolution, and the world that was once relatively Earth-like became the dusty, dry husk we see today. What occurred now is the question, what happened to those liquids, and what happened to Mars' atmosphere? Exploring Mars aids scientists in learning about significant climate alterations that have the potential to drastically transform planets. It also allows us to search for biosignatures, which could tell if life was prevalent on Mars in the past and whether it still exists today. And the more we study about Mars, the more prepared we will be to try to build a living there someday. NASA will look for signs of existing and previous life on Mars by looking for telltale indicators or biosignatures. The element carbon, for example, is a crucial component of life. Knowing where carbon may be found and in what form can teach us a lot about how life evolved. We know that carbon dioxide makes up the majority of the current Martian atmosphere. If carbonate minerals evolved on the Martian surface as a result of chemical reactions between water and the atmosphere, their pressure would indicate that the water had been there for a long time, possibly long enough for life to emerge. Scientists will be able to better model Mars's previous climatic behavior with a better understanding of its current climate. We'll need precise weather maps of the planet as well as data on the amount of dust and water vapor in the atmosphere to accomplish this. Monitoring the planet for this data for a complete Martian year, which is 687 Earth days, would help us understand how Mars acts during its seasonal cycle and point us in the right direction for understanding how the planet changes over millions of years. The stratified geology of Mars's polar regions also holds information about the planet's past, just like a tree's rings do.
Okay guys, now here are some of our bloopers.
Don't touch.
I'm trying. Sadina yallah.
Start up by having simple stuff.
Shut it down, just someone to skip it.
Moved it. Move back this way. It looks weird.
Holy, read off of the paper.
We need air.
No, I'm starting this over. Get off.
I'm sorry. Don't put that in there.
Zahra.
Anyways,
Stop! No, anyways, no. Wasn't it? Hasura, come on, bro.
Bro, I was coming down.
Just go.
that Starbucks looks great.
Did you say Starbucks? Let's try.
H2O and food.
Demon up.
Okay.